The quality of the team we have put together for this current general elections is one of my proudest achievements. This Dream 15 is made up of achievers and successful people, and of members with a genuine grounding in their communities and inspired by the love they have for people. These are what set this team apart from the so-called alternative. Ours is one of continuity and renewal, and built with a determination to expand opportunities for youth and women. If elections are about choices, which they are, then the choice this election is clearer than in any previous poll. Love wins every time. Care wins every time. Competence wins every time. Performance beats old talk every time.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, 1,265 youth engaged with the GIAP. Between 2014 and 2017, 3,725 youth engaged with the Amani program, with a spend of over $190 million. So let's keep moving. Vote NNP. Vote competence. It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, $70 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Between 2014 and 2017, $185 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
I know who I'm voting for. NNP I'm voting for. Tell me who you're voting for. NNP we voting for. So let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving. The demand is smiling. Let's keep moving. Salary receiving. Healthcare improving. Keep moving. Pension coming. Keep moving. Better condition. Keep moving. NNP the party for the land. Let's keep moving. Show me your colors. Let's keep moving. Your green colors. We came back in 2013. With a clean sweep we win 15. And my country progressing. NNPD winning team. 3,000 jobs for Imanis. The way forward we please. Numbers of higher education. The passport yet volume billion. We create small business. We have the facts to prove this. Roamed in billion a day. NNP only way. Let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving.
There's so much going on with the NNP, and we're just getting started. From candidate launches to contests, events, and breaking news, be in the know. Get notified first about big events and announcements. Plus, we're here to listen. We want to hear from you. Leave us a comment, tell us what's working and what's not. Like what we're doing? Let us know. The NNP is working for you. Interact with us on Facebook. Come on, Grenada, get connected. Like us on Facebook/NNP Grenada and keep moving.
Grenada has moved from an economy in years of negative growth, negative 2%, to one of the fastest growing economies in the region, plus 5%. So let's keep moving with the NNP.
Every election campaign is full of old talk and grand promises. Let history be your guide. Is who likely to better perform in government? Election is not about choosing perfect. They are about choosing the best one offer. Vote competent. Vote the NNP.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. On March 13th, Choose to keep Grenada moving forward. Mark an X next to the house. Vote competence. Vote NNP.
Building a stronger economy means all Grenadian workers benefit, those who work in the public service and those who work elsewhere. Now that the period of shared sacrifices is over, the benefits must be shared among every Grenadian. More money for house repair, more money to improve healthcare, more money for training, more money for education, and yes, more money for public servants. $55 million in various payments. We are the Grenadian family looking out for each other. And even as we fight for ourselves and our families, we always remember our neighbors. We forge ahead together.
We got to come together, learn to love your brother, love your...
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. Between 2008 to 2013, the economy regressed every year. Between 2014 to 2017, the economy grew every year. Vote competence, vote NNP.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, 1,265 youth engaged with the GIAP. Between 2014 and 2017, 3,725 youth engaged with the Amani program, with a spend of over $190 million. So let's keep moving. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
We have done a lot in St. David's to be proud of. I want to thank the people for their continued support. We had great success in the area of education. So we give over 20-something scholarship to university, plus a number of students we help to go to TAMCC. And so education has been my main focus. We have also done a lot of infrastructure work. The St. Dominic's preschool that was gutted by fire in 2011 was completely refurbished.
This school is like an essential school in the area, and we are very happy to have that kind of environment that is conducive for education and learning.
We have done the water treatment plant in Mount Agnes and in Mondelez. And we have done a number of road work throughout the constituency that is there for all to see. We're going to light up the Lassages playing field. We have upgraded 5 playing fields, and including new toilet facilities. In the agricultural sector, we continue to give incentives to farmers, help them get to market. For the youth, we have had a number of Imani trainees. A lot of our people got jobs in the call center. In fact, over the last 4.5 years, the unemployment rate in St. David's fell because of the number of young men in the construction sector. And so I am very pleased. I know there are a lot more work to be done. I ask for your continued support so I can continue doing all the work that I've started in St. David's. So St. David's, let's keep moving with the new national party. The future is bright.
Who does run the country the right way? NNP. And work hard for the people all day. NNP. Who's the party that keep it moving?
We're in Caracou, and you can see the vibe, feel the vibe, feel the energy. There's so much energy here. We're talking to so many people. Let's go around, talk to some more.
Best nation, best group, best party, vote the NNP.
Keep moving. Sitting and watching. There is room for you. We will welcome you. Because we need hardened and cultural facilities.
Now remember, the new national party would always and has always and would always be the best party, not just for me, but for all the young people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Remember guys, performance always beat overtalk, and the new national party has always given you great performance.
NNP all the way. Keep on moving from Miss Pamela Moses.
March 30th, we voting for Kindra, NNP. Keep moving, keep moving.
Yo, Gemini, NNP all the way. Dr. Keith Mitchell, he's a boss. Vote for him and he'll get what you need. Everything. Vote for the boss and he will give you what you need. NNP all the way. Let's go.
NNP, who's the party that keep it moving? NNP.
I've been catching my tail to get out, like in and out of my village, and Miss Pam passed on yesterday, and she promised me something. I'll get it done on the same day, and look, I'll get it done this morning. Although you kind of handburgered me right now, but still, I've been some patience and some feet. That I'll move to the next one to go and do my daily job.
I used to take my vehicle and come inside, end up sticking, have to get machine to pull it out of the road. When I reach out the road, definitely, I'll be thanking the bus to pull me out. And I see Miss Pamela coming yesterday and look at the road, and I'm feeling so happy today that I see progress continue, that she get a machine and come and help us in the area, fix the road. Definitely, I'm feeling so thankful.
I think the people of Tisha will be very happy with what happened in so far, because a lot of potholes, and I think yesterday Sister Pam passed, and today some action. So we are very happy. I hope that a little better could be done in terms of concreting the road and food. Thank you so much.
Hi, I am Peter David. Since growing up in Asheville Avenue, hanging out on the Carnage and in Four Roads, building friendships, making memories in River Road, and fighting for the youth of Darbo. These are all reasons why this place will always be home. I've been around this town and this town has been with me. Ours is a relationship for a lifetime. You have called on me once again to represent you. With humility and a great sense of pride for my hometown, I accept the call. So count on me and count me in. It will be my honor to serve you. This is our town and our home, our moment to lift each other up. Together, let's take the town of St. George to the next level. Thank you for placing your confidence in me once again.
The new National Party has been good to St. David's, and more is coming. Youth unemployment has reduced drastically. Infrastructure has improved. The standard of living of people have improved over the years. Our focus is to ensure that all our people in St. David's improve in their way of life and standard of living, and we are giving hope to young people. It is a united team that can deliver such hope to people and such benefits. And therefore, this is not the time to take risk with the future. We must be committed to the present. And I say to you, let us all keep moving.
5 years ago, we started an incredible journey together. We dreamed and we strove to achieve. We are happy with the success we have had, but not content. The arch of progress is bending in the right direction in St. George Northeast, and many people have benefited. But there are still others that are yet to be lifted by the rising tide. We cannot leave those people behind, and so we continue to fight, and we continue to push on. I am Tobias Clement, and I'm running again to continue what we have started. Our dreams are too big, our ambitions too large for us to stop here. So let's keep moving.
I have been afforded the greatest honor to have been able to serve the people of St. Mark faithfully this past years. every day I get up with the same enthusiasm to go to work for you. Today, I still have that passion, and tomorrow, I look forward to fighting for you again. We are happy to have made a difference in the lives of so many people. But we appreciate that it is a never-ending struggle. Whatever progress we have made, we shall never be satisfied. And that's why I am coming back to you for your support again. We have done a lot, but we still have more to do. Therefore, in St. Mark, we shall continue to keep moving.
I am Yolan Bain Horsford, and right behind me here is my alma mater, St. Joseph Convent, the institution that I've attended for 5 years. Further back behind me is the Roman Catholic Church that I also attend. And on my left is the convent court that I played all the netball and the tennis throughout my 5 years at this institution. I am very proud of the partnerships I have formed with the people of St. Andrews Southwest these past 5 years. But I'm even more excited about the things we can still do together. We have begun solving the housing challenges and tackling youth unemployment. We have not only been building roads and houses, but more importantly, building communities and building lives. Many people have been given fresh opportunities, and even more shall be lifted up in the coming period. I am ready to take a fresh start and to continue battling for ordinary people who deserve another chance. So let's keep moving.
It is an opportunity where I can be able to make a difference in the lives of many persons in the constituency and also Grenada as a whole. I am prepared to give of service to the people. My whole life has been one of service. So this is another opportunity where I can go out there to help improve the lives of people, the standard of living and the quality of life.
Skita is a young person and she has been given a wonderful opportunity to help shape lives in our country. She has been doing that within her school for the past 17 years.
I know her doing teaching and making great improvement in that school. Awards, trophies, you know, skits was behind this.
And I've offered myself to be the next parliamentary representative for my people of St. Patrick's East. I see this as the next step in my life journey of service to people and my determination to give back to my community, a community that has always lifted me up. I am particularly passionate about issues affecting youth, and as your MP, will be championing policies and programs that will further empower our young people, as well as our adult male and females all across Grenada, but particularly in St. Patrick's East. I am pleased to have joined a team that has delivered for Grenada. But there is more work to be done, and so we shall keep moving.
South St. George is fast becoming the economic heartbeat of this nation. It is at the center of the housing and construction boom and unprecedented growth in education and tourism sectors. As our area rises, so does the nation. In the coming period, our challenge is to give character to this growth and to bring along the surrounding areas. So we shall improve the skill sets of people to take advantage of the coming jobs with my plan to cut unemployment in the South by 2/3. And we will extend housing assistance and give the many people who need it land tenure. More money will be made available for small business loans for people in such areas as Montoot, Grand Anse Valley, Woodlands, Woburn, Calais and Belmont. The people who are yet to be touched will get their chance. We are excited about tomorrow, and so today we shall keep moving.
I try my hands at different things. You know, as a young boy growing up, I recall some of the most senior folks in our community always making mention of the fact that I'm jack of all trade but master of none. And eventually I got to understand what that really meant. Yeah, you know, you try your hands at different things.
Well, you're not into competing this year. Your face is not out there. Nobody's going to be voting for Roland Bowler this year. But you're an integral part of the campaign. Well, put it this way, you're the head of the campaign. And as indicated, the manifesto is an integral part of the campaign. But what do you think stands out as the campaign manager overall? What do you think stands out in this manifesto? What makes this manifesto different from others?
Okay. The fact that in this manifesto we have not deviated very far from the core values of what we had put to the people before. In fact, this manifesto is indeed a continuation of much of what we were doing before that has been bringing results to Grenada. As we said in a sort of press conference yesterday, there are one or two areas that you can expect to see more boldly pronounced. So, for example, in health, because of the introduction now and the coming into being of the National Health Insurance Scheme, we are going to take some more bold steps in health because we believe in time we would be able to raise the necessary resources because, you know, to get premium health care is an expensive venture and government by itself alone cannot undertake it. So with the incoming of the National Health Insurance, we believe we can do more. The whole issue of oil and gas exploration is something that has been on the tables for a while, but we are in a position now where we believe we are better off and we may be able to actualize some of the plans. So you may see that more boldly in the manifesto this time. The whole issue of control of public funds and accountability is something that we're very serious about, and we've started since last year, and we have in the last era introduced new legislation, and we want to continue along those lines. So yes, we will see a continuation of.
Roland, we have to cut you here because the Prime Minister has just arrived, and the chairman, Brenda Hood, she has picked it up, so we need to go to the chairman now.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
today, Lord, as the manifesto is launched of this political party, the NNP. We pray, Lord, that you continue, God, to give us that vision, direction that is necessary to help us to fulfill that which we have been created for. The difficulties and challenges over the world give us an opportunity, God, to emerge as a country and to show great leadership. Lord, we pray, oh God, over everyone that would speak this morning and share that the words that they speak would be of wisdom. You'll guide, Lord, as they share with us what it is, Lord, we are preparing for in the next 5 years. Indeed, you are unique and you are wonderful, and so we thank you this morning for how you're going to work through us. This we ask in Jesus' holy and precious name. Amen.
Thank you, and be seated. Oh, please stand. We will now do the national anthem, and I believe the music will be played. So please stand a sentence. Thank you, and be seated. As I said earlier, good morning to everyone. The pleasure is mine here this morning to welcome each and every one of you to this special occasion, the launching of our 2018 Manifesto. This occasion is very important. I must say I would like to also welcome all of those who have been invited to be here with us, to the business community, to the students that have taken time off to be here. This is important. All of the other invited guests that are here with us this morning. To the members of the media, I want to thank you all for coming. I know some people have taken time off their busy schedule to be with us, but I know you are here because you realize the importance of this event. I want to say also that it is always a pleasure as a party. And I must announce, I did see him, the chairman of the general secretary and also a campaign manager, Mr. Bowler. I know he's somewhere in the building and we must recognize him. He's at the back. He has been working extremely hard over the past few weeks to make sure we do what is necessary, and that's why we are here today. So, I want to spend some time briefly to acknowledge the presence of Prime Minister and political leader, a man with a vision, a man who has worked extensively with a team to make sure we are here today. Let us acknowledge his presence. And I don't know if you're aware, but the Prime Minister has been around for about 5 or 6 manifestos. I know in 1995, and I'm starting there, when he became Prime Minister, he was there with a manifesto. So this is a man who has a lot of experience. He was there in 1995, he was there in 1999, he was there in 2003, 2008, 2013, and today we are here, 2018. So let us give him a round of applause for his vision. I must also mention that there were a team of persons who are responsible for putting this document together. When you see it, let us acknowledge them. I will not call names, but let us acknowledge them. Some of them are here in the audience with us. To the members of the new National Party executive who have made contribution towards the development of this manifesto, and everyone else who have contributed, because this is a teamwork. the New National Party believes in teamwork, and this is why whenever we do something, we always involve as many persons as possible. So once again, my brothers and sisters, it's a pleasure to be here this morning, and I will turn over to Simon Steele, who will continue the proceeding. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Brenda. I'm here both as part of the Manifesto team and as the Public Relations Officer of the New National Party. With protocols adopted, I would simply like to once again welcome you all here today, wish you a very warm welcome to this, the New National Party's launch of its 2018 Manifesto, A Vision for Grenada. Ladies and gentlemen, what will be presented and what has been developed is based on concrete plans, visions, and strategies. It builds on the successes that we have achieved and the foundation that has been built over the past 5 years during this current administration. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a start. This is all about continuing those successes and those plans. Ladies and gentlemen, today what will be presented are 4 key presentations. The first, which is entitled Empowerment and Transformation, will be presented by our Minister for Communications and Works, Gregory Bowen. Minister Bowen will outline the New National Party's economic framework for the transformation of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. It will set the thrust to establish Grenada as the dominant economic force within the region in this coming period. He will speak to economic development. He will speak to the creation of even more job opportunities, especially for our young, our youth. He will also cover the investment, the significant focus that the New National Party, a New National Party administration, will have on the key productive sectors, including tourism and hospitality, agriculture and fisheries, the information communications technologies sector, and oil and gas development. The second presentation, ladies and gentlemen, will be taking care of our people, which will be presented by our Minister for Health and International Business, Nicholas Steele. Minister Steele will speak to NNP's commitment to improving the quality of lives of our people through improved health care, the introduction of national health insurance, pension reform, improving our national housing stock, and social services, and how we can better provide and protect for our most vulnerable. The third presentation will be the next generation, presented by our Minister for Implementation, Emmeline Pierre, and she will outline opportunities for our youth, focusing on such areas as innovation and creativity, in addition to education and human resource development, culture, and sports. The final presentation, which caps all of this, will be the New National Party's vision for the development of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, which will be presented by our Prime Minister and political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. As we say, where there is no vision, the people perish. Following these presentations, there will be a questions and answers session. This session is being live streamed, and we'll be receiving questions from the general public through social media. So we'll be receiving and responding in that Q&A wrap-up session together with any questions from the media. So without further ado, there will be a short presentation followed by our presentation by Minister Bowen. Thank you.
The plan of the new National Party is to develop an economic framework that will transform the society within the next decade, lift people out of poverty, reduce unemployment to single digits, and transform the Grenadian society. It is an aggressive plan that will set the platform for investment in the productive sectors, especially tourism and with its linkages to agriculture, as well as set new levels of productivity through the use of technology. The Grenadian worker will be specially trained for the new jobs that will emerge through the ICT, information technology sector. Our policy will set Grenada on the course to become the dominant Caribbean economic powerhouse by 2030.
Good morning to all. Yes, good morning to all. I think the tone has been set, and we the presenters only have 8 minutes. So we'll do justice to those 8 minutes. And Senator Steele has set the stage, and so I will delve correctly into it. First of all, the transformation component. And we can coin the term improved continuity. And here we are. Our objective, therefore, will be served through the debt management structure that we have implemented. And in that regard, we will continue to improve on this together with our fiscal responsibility legislation. Reduction in unemployment could come significantly from foreign direct investment. And in this regard, we must ensure that our incentives can be competitive. We know that we are in a difficult position coming out from 2013, but we also recognize that even within the OECS, we have competition. The social partners and the social compact will be a critical component in our moving forward, in the transformation of our economy. So in that context, you will see from the manifesto that we will be promoting and continuing with working with our partners to ensure that we continue with the benefits that have been derived from this engagement. With respect to foreign direct investment, tourism plays a critical role. We must increase our market share. We must also ensure that the transportation in the region is increased and enhanced through arrangements between carriers and within countries. We have a significant market in the Caribbean, and in that regard, we will be focusing on the Caribbean as a unit, as well as the wider world. To get our people here, we will use the benefits of the open skies policy. And again, we ensure that whatever arrangement, whatever benefits can be, and open skies is where you get airlines in and out of your countries without too many restrictions, and there are significant restrictions. Part of and will be following the open skies policy. Airlift, increase airlift, increase hotel room stocks. Hotel room stocks will come from foreign direct investment. We know that the government does not take the taxpayers' money and invest it in hotels. Therefore, incentives and all of these add up together to ensure that we have increased foreign direct investment. Community-based tourism. critical, again, we will ensure, and the manifesto will speak to it, how we get the ABB, the bed and breakfast, and having the facilities to attract tourists, not only to the major hotels, but into the communities, in our homes, etc. The manifesto will speak to this. The linkages between agriculture and the tourism. Right now, we have it established. We will improve and continue on it with the rules and regulations. The investors, the hotel investors, the opportunity to work with our local farmers and get the necessary produce. Linkage between tourism and agriculture. This will work and transform our society. Reduction in poverty, increase employment, all of those will join together to ensure that we move forward in that area. Now we have ICT, Information and Communication Technology. This is critical, both for our education and for smart agriculture and for business in general. We will ensure that in every facet of life in our country, ICT will play its significant role. But to do so, we must have affordable broadband. That is, we must not have any buffering, etc., when we connect to the internet. And in that context, the National Telecommunication Regulatory Commission will play its major role, both locally and on part of ECTEL, the 5 Caribbean countries grouping of the OECS. We will move, and the manifesto will speak to this, to see the rules and regulations. One of the critical component is what you advertise, you must deliver. So if you advertise 70 megabits, you must give 70 megabits for 95% of the time, so the consumer will receive what he or she is being paid for. And these are some parts of the area that we'll recommend with ICT. And the manifesto will expand on the role it plays in education and elsewhere. Agriculture, a critical area where we can reduce unemployment and lift our people out of poverty. Food and nutrition is one critical area. And this, you will see how it is linked to the school and the school feeding program. In other words, we must know what we give our children to eat at school, even at home, so that they can learn and be part of the development of our country. A critical component that we want to move forward and speak a lot about is the improvement in our oil and gas environment. We have said that we are cautiously optimistic, and soon we may be in a very good position. But we intend to learn from our neighbors in the south in particular, so that we do not take the position that they took with respect to negatives, but that we grab everything positive about what they have achieved. And in this context, therefore, we'll have strong legislation to ensure that the benefits of the oil and gas industry reach every single strata of society in the country. Something, brothers and sisters, that's one negative that we have learned from the other countries that we should not follow. So I am extremely happy to have presented very briefly to you today. Any questions will be entertained in the question and answer period. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Minister Bowen, who is our candidate for St. George Southeast. Minister Bowen will have gone through, at a macroeconomic level, the importance of having a strong, stable, growing, productive economy, the importance of creating or that growth in the economy to create job opportunities, investment in those key productive sectors, agriculture, tourism, oil and gas, ICT, and how that will all contribute to the robustness of our economy. And without the strength of that economy, without the prosperity that that brings, without the revenues that are generated from having that positive growing economy, we will not be in a position to support what our next speaker will cover, Minister for Health, Nicholas Steele, and the candidate for South St. George, which is all about taking care of our people, how those economic benefits can support the necessary social programs that, that support our people. So a video will be shown, and then our Minister, Nicholas Steele, will present. Thank you.
In the next decade, Grenada will see unprecedented economic growth fueled by the diversification of the economy, investment in the product sector, and smart investments in our human resources. But the quality of the society we build will be dependent on the policies we carve that will take care of our young, the elderly, and the vulnerable. At the center of this trust is the commitment to improve the quality of life of our people in tangible ways, including improving the quality of healthcare and the development of social services network that will include reinstatement of pensions for workers and development of a comprehensive national health insurance scheme. A robust social services system will be set up to help save the vulnerable from falling through the cracks, and hundreds of millions will be invested in helping to improve housing to ensure that we have some of the best housing stock in the region.
Good morning to you all. Good morning to our friends and family, and in particular, our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. I'm here to talk to you this morning on pensions, national health insurance, healthcare, housing, and social services. But in particular, if we take the lower three, those are the basic fundamental blocks by which we measure the standard of life of a people. And the first two are those essential parts of any advanced society. But we are grouping all of those together because now is the time that we look at all of them together. Pensions, first and foremost. That elusive struggle since the 80s of most governments, recognizing that it is a challenge that should be dealt with, unable to find the way and means to deal with that challenge. We are able to say here today that this is not a promise to come in the next term, but we have met, we have come to the conclusions, and we have the way and means in which to meet that pension challenge with our social partners, and they need to be given as much credit in this as well. So we can finally say that the dignity is restored to our public servants who have given years of service in their latter years of retirement. National health insurance, again, a commitment made by this government, a dream of many. And as we say, if you take a dream and you write it down, then you have a plan. And we have a plan for implementation of that dream called national health insurance. And when you give that plan a deadline and you say it will be done this year, then you have action. And when you have action, dreams come through. Health, healthcare. Healthcare should always be an election issue. It is an election issue in the US, in the UK, in most advanced countries, and it must continue to be an election issue for us as a Grenadian people. The difference is of speaking of the
benefits that have been brought and will be brought to the people. Not speaking of the problems, the benefits. Speaking of our SGU, St. George's University, working hand in hand with them. The reason that we have been making that progress is because we have looked at our SGU partner a difference of 90 degrees. We continue to reach our hand out as most governments have to SGU, but we haven't done it like this. We have done it like this as a partner with them and building together. That is why Phase 2 building, the top floor, is dedicated to SGU teaching. That is why SGU has started, and we're in the 3rd year of our bachelor's degree for nursing here. Bachelor's degree for nursing. 3rd year of it, tried and tested and progressing. That is why this year more scholarships were offered than ever before to SGU. Our Grenadian people moving forward, learning. Nurses, we are able to say 100% employment for all of our nurses. In fact, it's probably 99.9 now because some nurses came back this month, but they will be employed next week. We are all proud of our SGU, and SGU is proud of their Grenada. The difference is with this government, we are working together that SGU and Grenada will be proud of our healthcare being offered to our people. Working hand in hand with them to offer surgical services at Princess Alice. X-ray services have already been implemented in Princess Alice. To offer surgical services at Princess Royal as well. To have CT and electronic scanning at our hospital now in the Phase 2 will be implemented for our people. Recognizing dialysis is a plague that we are dealing with, and cancer. So increased dialysis services with private providers as well, and oncology. Oncology services being offered for our people as well. And at the same time on the front end, making sure that we adjust the quality of life in terms of what we eat so that we can curb the plague of dialysis and cancer. Electronic medical records. 3 letters EMR, but an amazing difference to the quality of healthcare that we offer to our people. The ability is for you as a person to look on your phone before you leave home and know what the waiting time is in any health center in the island, to know which doctor is at the health center and when they are there, and to choose where you want to go to receive the service that you need, and to have all of your records follow you wherever you are, even outside of the country, so that you can give your records, all of the tests that you have taken, to anyone for a second opinion. That is the quality of service that is being offered. I am pleased to say that EMR is in 70% of our health centers now, and within the next couple of weeks, we'll begin the implementation at our General Hospital and Princess Alice as well. Housing, ladies and gentlemen, housing. 647 houses will be built. We have broken ground on that for low-income housing. We are the party that has brought back the number of houses and increasing our housing stock. We recognize that this is a fundamental part for our people. No matter how hard we work, no matter how successful we are as a people, if we do not have a home to go home to, a house, a proper house to go home to, then we will not be as advanced as we think we are or want to be. Housing materials as well, the cost of which must come down. There are many of us, most of us can afford to build for ourselves, but we need to make sure that that ability to do so is more affordable so that our goals can be achieved as a people sooner. The cost of building materials will come down. We need to recognize as well in today's society and the future that we are looking at that we must build climate smart construction. We must make sure that we are using renewable energy, renewable materials. We must make sure that we reduce the cost of electricity that we use in our own houses. We must make sure that the materials do not create additional burden on our waste. So we are working with you on that and will ensure that not only will the cost of materials come down, but we will be using smarter materials as well. House repair program, an essential part of any government, a social safety net for those who have made it just barely to build their house, but for some reason, force of nature, something else has happened, their house has fallen into disrepair. We will increase the number of house repair and do it smarter and better as well, with groups of individuals who have volunteered to work with us to help those elderly persons to repair their houses as well, to improve the basic living standards for our people. Social services. Social services, first and foremost. We are aiming at achieving what are called the Sustainable Development Goals, addressing the issues of poverty, hunger, health, education, water, sanitation, social justice, and gender. Those last two are in particular the most important. Social justice and gender. Child abuse will be addressed. A registry will be implemented. Hotline and assistance for those who are the victims. One, make sure that the offenders are registered, but two, look after the victims. We will set up that hotline and have the necessary resources for those unfortunate victims as we tackle this plague that is upon us. Public assistance for our people. We are proud of being accused of giving handouts, because we don't see those as handouts. We see those as hand-ups. And we will continue. If they have branded us as a government and party that does handouts, we proudly wear that brand as a government and party that will continue to give hand-ups. This is what we plan, this is what we have for our future. So there are those fundamental blocks that measure the quality of life as we continue 5 more years of increased progress and quality of life. Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister Steele. So we have heard about our plans for the development, continued development of our economy. We have just heard this comprehensive package of services, of plans, of initiatives that will directly support our people, whether it's through healthcare, whether it is through housing, whether it's through social services, a comprehensive plan by the new National Party. We now narrow down the discussion to one specific demographic, our youth. There is a lot of talk about our youth and how that is a major part of our vision for the future. But translating those words into concrete actions have been demonstrated by this administration over the past 5 years in terms of this government's commitment and investment in our youth. But how do we move that forward in this next period? Our next speaker is our Minister for Implementation, Emmeline Pierre, who is also our candidate for St. Andrews South East. Her presentation will focus on that key issue, our next generation, our plans, our visions for our youth. Video, please.
This new Grenada Renaissance will belong to the young. Our youth will be given the opportunity to author the future through innovation, creativity, and commitment. The biggest central government investment in the next decade will be in education and training. That will better prepare our youth for the new opportunities that will open up. A special program will be developed that makes it easier for young people to have access money for investments in areas such as the information technology sector, modern methods of agriculture, and small manufacturing. There will be a distinct policy shift that actively treats the entertainment and sports sectors as areas of genuine economic activity. The government will embark on a special program of creative excellence that will churn out world-class performers in sports and entertainment.
This morning, I am grateful. I am honored and I'm excited. Distinguished political leader of the New National Party, colleagues, friends, good morning. I am this morning grateful because of the New National Party government and the opportunities as a teenager that I receive to participate in youth development at the local, regional, and international level. But this morning, I'm also humbled, and humbled because I have had the opportunity over the past couple of years to help to shape the policies and programs for young people. But this morning, I'm also very excited. I'm excited about the new generation. I'm excited about the next generation. I'm excited about you and the opportunities that you have. Our government, our party, has always seen our young people as a central pillar of national development. Our heart is for you, the young people of this country. And that is why we have never just spoken about youth development. We have made it happen, and we are excited about making it happen again, even bigger for the young people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martin. Brothers and sisters, our culture, the Grenadian culture, is extremely important to us. The preservation and the protection of our culture must be important on the agenda of our young people and their development. That is why over the next 5 years, our focus would be on protection and preservation of our culture through legislative reform. We can't afford to take risk with preserving of our culture for our next generation. That is why, brothers and sisters, we are going to protect our culture. We're going to promote our culture by improving our infrastructure, such as the rebuilding of the Simon Cultural Center in St. Andrew. Brothers and sisters, our support for key stakeholders in the culture industry must be increased, and we are prepared to do even more to support our locals who are engaged as key stakeholders in the development of our culture. Development of standards and certification has to be of great importance. We have seen the production of world-class entertainers and professionals right here in our local soils. If we have to go forward, we must place emphasis on standards and certification. Our government would make that another priority in the area of culture. Brothers and sisters, our culture will not develop. It will not be preserved if our children are not at the center of development of culture. And so over the next 5 years, you will see far more programs for children in primary and secondary school as it relates to culture and development of our culture. Brothers and sisters, this government, our new National Party government, has made education a priority for young people. The number of scholarships, hundreds of scholarships, millions of dollars spent in the area of scholarships and opportunities for young people. But that's why I'm excited, because so many more young people will have the opportunity for a better education in the coming years. Brothers and sisters, our infrastructure development in education will also be a priority. We have done so much over the past 5 years, but guess what? There's so much more that we are going to do in the area of infrastructure development. But happy am I to tell you this morning that one of our priority areas, one of our focus in that development process would be those who are not as able-bodied as we are. those who are physically challenged, our infrastructural development must take them into consideration. Brothers and sisters, the T.A. Marichaud Community College will be a college that we will all be proud of in the next 5 years, because we plan to transform the T.A. Marichaud Community College to be one of the institutions in the region that will be top class in the services and programs that are offered for the development of our young people. But not just T.A. Marichaud College. We intend to expand Grenada into an education hub where we are able to attract international and regional universities to offer a wider variety of programs for young people right here in Grenada. Education will continue to be a priority for our government. Brothers and sisters, in the area of youth development, speaking specific to youth engagement and youth participation, you have seen the testimonies of our new National Party government. But in this coming 5 years, brothers and sisters, our key priority as it relates to our young people will be that of creating greater employment opportunities for young people of this country. We are still not satisfied with what we have achieved, because we want to make sure that all of our young people have a greater opportunity to achieve their fullest potential. We recognize that government nor the private sector will be able to do it all for you. So that is why we are going to place far more emphasis on funding small business development program, put in more monies so that more young people will be able to start their small businesses. And we are going to support this by setting up of small business centers in various parishes, so young people will have a hand to hold as they start their small businesses. That is vision. That is young people being at the center of a government's program. Brothers and sisters, the National Mentorship Program will be launched in the coming period. That program, brothers and sisters, will give that opportunity so that every young person, every child in our country will have an option of support at the community level. The National Mentorship Program is aimed at giving support to every young person as they journey through their period of youth. The National Mentorship Program will be a priority. The issue of youth participation. How do young people get involved at the national level? We will bring our young people and continue to bring them through the grassroots level, right up to the national level, as many of us would have had the opportunity to serve. So we commit this morning to giving young people an opportunity in youth participation so that they too can be part of the decision-making processes at all levels of national development and governance. That is our commitment to our young people. Finally, brothers and sisters, in the area of sports, we have produced so many world-class athletes. We have seen so many of our very own reach the pinnacle of success. We have seen so many dream, and their dreams came true. Their dreams became a reality. And that is why we are excited, because so many more young people will have the opportunity to dream and to become world-class right here with the opportunities that we will provide. And that is why the investment in infrastructure will be a priority. In every major facility, we are going to ensure that there's lighting facility and sitting facility to protect and to engage and to train these persons, providing the opportunity to showcase their skills and talent at the community level. We will give greater support to associations and clubs to support them in their administration and their functioning so that more of our sporting personnel, more of our sporting men and women would receive opportunities and support. But we will strengthen the Ministry of Sports so that more young men and women would receive the opportunities and the support that they so deserve to make it at the levels that they dream to make it. Brothers and sisters, sports is critical in our national development. Why? Because we see sports as a vehicle. We see sports as a vehicle for economic development. We see sports as a vehicle for social development. And that is why we will invest even more in sports to help take care of our young people. But what about our policies? Our policies in culture, our policies in sports, our policies in youth development. These are going to be priorities. So even the Education Act that we have developed so many years ago, in a changing environment, we commit to review all of those and to make the necessary changes for further development. Brothers and sisters, friends, our youth is not just our future. Our youth is also our present. Our youth is all that we have when we speak of our future. So that is why we are so committed to making sure that our young people reach their fullest potential. Our young people are safe in the hands of the new National Party government. Thank you.
Comprehensive outline of the new National Party's vision and plans for the next generation, our youth. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard how we are seeking to transform or to continue to transform our economy, how we are providing services and support for our people. We've just heard the specific plans and programs for our youth. These are all concrete plans, ladies and gentlemen, not pie in the sky, not political gimmickry, but real plans that many of which have been proven, tested. We're seeing the results during this period, and we'll see the continuation of that in the next. But how does this all fit together in terms of a wider vision? How does this all come together for a vision of the development of this wonderful nation of ours and our people? How are these all encompassed in that broader vision? Our next speaker, our Prime Minister, our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, will outline for us that vision.
My sisters and brothers all, Brother Chairman, see this wonderful audience here this morning, particularly our young people. My dream is being fulfilled. My dear sisters and brothers all, the vision that you have seen unfolded today has been built on the sacrifices and successes of the last 5 years. When we campaigned during the last election cycle, We promised boldly that we were going to deliver. I'm confident that you are not disappointed. We have delivered on jobs, on economic growth, and we have delivered on hope. And we have not only done this, sisters and brothers, for a sector of the society. We have done it for all levels of classes, age group, religious affiliation of persons in our country. Genuinely, so therefore, it's about the holistic development of this very special country. We have kept the core of all our promises. Those promises that we indicated will take us away from the brink of economic catastrophe that we inherited. My dear sisters and brothers, confidently, Grenada is back, sisters and brothers. And that is why our slogan is, let's keep moving. Don't stop. That is the basis of the vision that we now share. One of growth and one of intensive progress. As has repeatedly been said here today by all our speakers, our plan is to transform this special society into a premier economic powerhouse in the region within the decade. Coming from Haiti just a few days ago, my colleagues were all congratulating me, but really only me as a symbol. They're congratulating you, the people of this beautiful country, for the progress you have made in the last 5 years. We are confident, extremely confident, that we have the most solid and comprehensive plan for growth, and even more importantly, we have a proven team that can deliver on this plan. Sisters and brothers, you can have the best ideas in your head. You can present the most beautiful document. Words can be very cheap. It is only significant when it is given to a team of men and women capable of implementing those ideas. I sat there this morning, and as I believe I was expected to have the title of the senior statesman of this party, I have it in age and experience. But leave the age out, because I think I look younger than some of you. All right? I felt so proud. And I mean it, tears nearly came. You know why? Because I see the growth of that team that will be in place when I depart this scene. Your country, sisters and brothers, would be in excellent hands. We believe that our biggest economic resource forward, we firmly believe, is our people. particularly our young people and sisters and brothers, we don't only believe in this just because the election coming, you know. We believe in it all the time. Because if you don't believe in your people, you cannot get the success that you wish to get. It is on their foundation that your successes, in fact, will be obtained. And that's why any success we have had in the last 5 years, we have not boasted about it as successes for ourselves. We have accepted it with humility because we believe it could not have been obtained without you, the people of this country. So important. Particularly young people, it is your future that we are trying our best to secure. For if this society, my dear sisters and brothers, is to be transformed, it will be done by the 16-year-olds in school today and even lower level in age, and the teenagers who are going to be voting for the first time on March 13, 2018. For all the investments we will make, the biggest investments, sisters and brothers, will be in preparing our young people to make their own individual mark and in the process to transform the inheritance of their forefathers. Sisters and brothers, it's no coincidence that your country is still, 10 years now, is still given this portfolio of science and technology by the entire Caribbean leaders, sisters and brothers. We shouldn't take this lightly. And it's not just about your leader. It's about you, the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Our vision, therefore, gives us a chance to achieve our full potential and to reap the benefits of the last 5 years of sacrifices. At the center of this plan for development is the need for us to pay particular attention to the specific needs of all the people of our country. While we take pride in balancing budgets, that's nice. I used to do work for the IMF when I was in Washington, and my role was balancing numbers. But friends, our biggest honor will not be just in balancing the books, because if the books are balanced on the backs of the poor and vulnerable, that balance is not something we can talk about. Our biggest honor, therefore, must be to help every Grenadian to balance their lives, sisters and brothers, not the books of the national budget. It's good to have it. It's good for the regional international perception. But balancing the lives of people you have to walk around every day and feel their pain, the way they think and the way they feel, that is the real balance, sisters and brothers, that we must have. A modern society, sisters and brothers, must advance its health care services and make good health care affordable and accessible. And this is the idea behind the National Health Insurance. I can't come here, and the Minister of Health did not come today and tell you how great we are and how wonderful the healthcare system is. We will be totally dishonest if we are to see this. And we were there before. So we can't claim that we have done everything to make the healthcare the best. So we cannot claim that we have all the solutions. Just vote for us and the healthcare will be the best in the region. What Canada can deliver, we will deliver it. What Trinidad with all this oil money can't deliver, just vote for us, man. It's going to transform tomorrow morning. The greatest discussion in the United States is about healthcare, and they're the most powerful economic country in the world. We better get it right, sisters and brothers, and fellow Grenadians, Caracunians, PD Martinicans. The best healthcare system is one that is obtained by the total cooperation of all and sundry in Grenada, Caracou, and PD Martinique. So when this government is elected, we will call on our political opponents to join with us because their life is important too. Join with us. Join with the private sector. Join with the trade union movement. Join with the church leaderships. Join with the youths of this country. Join with the NGO community to create the best healthcare this country has ever seen. My friends, a modern society must make sure that the people who contribute to development must be cared for when they retire. And that's why, as difficult as it is, the resumption of pensions is not just an economic responsibility, but one of a moral responsibility of our time. We cannot claim to be a Christian society. We cannot march into our churches on Saturday and Sunday and watch an injustice from since 1983 be perpetuated and continue. We must, as Christians, solve this problem right now, sisters and brothers. The Grenadian family must also live in comfortable housing. And we'll work with our partners to invest in the housing stock. A housing revolution is on its way. My brother Steele spoke about the 647 houses. Sisters and brothers, I tell you this. If the cash as we expect allows us, the government will initiate with private sector additional housing in the next 5 years. Sisters and brothers, in the coming few years alone, we'll have to double this if we're serious about the pain. I know some of the women who come to my office, and some of them come battered. But some of our men who are inadequate in dealing with the fundamental problems, and they take out their frustration and anger on those poor females. We have to have some housing situation allocated to rescue these people, sisters and brothers. At the same time, we have to rescue those men too who are doing that, sisters and brothers, because they need rescuing. Sisters and brothers, the next major investment in this bold future of which we're talking about today is March 13th. That day wasn't chosen just so, you know. That day is synonymous with some historical thing of bullets March 13 now must be synonymous with bullets, ballots, ballots, sisters and brothers, ballots, not bullets, ballots. I see Brother Ram smiling. And that is okay. That's what our history is, our history. And we should not be ashamed of it. We do things that as we move on, we correct. I am not the same person I was 30 years ago, 20 years ago. I've learned from my mistakes as an individual. And I'm proud of the fact that I have learned. Although some of us will never learn. Sisters, therefore, we are confident that having seen us in action and having heard about our plans, some of it today, and you've heard it on the campaign trail, that the majority of Grenadians, Caraconians, and Petite Martiniquans will vote for continued progress and safety. We understand the urgency of these times. We understand that thousands of young people coming through our schools demand of us collectively to work with focus and determination, yes, but also with haste. The things we'll be able to do in the future were not possible 5 years ago. That's a fact. 5 years ago, Nazim Burke and the NDC had injured the future of this land. Under their watch, our economy was too weak and being battered. The management was too poor. The vision was too limited. The politics were too divided. The leadership was clueless, sisters and brothers. And it takes a lot for me to say this. But what is true must be said, sisters and brothers. We had to re-engineer the foundation and set about the right path for this country. Through the grace of God and the unity of our people, sisters and brothers, we believe we are achieving this. We ain't done yet, but we are achieving it. And now we are ready. We are really ready, I'm telling you this. We are ready for the new chapter. We are ready for the rising. And therefore, sisters and brothers, we shall keep moving. Lastly, I don't believe there's a happier man in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique today than Keith Claudius Mitchell. Thank you all. Good morning, everybody. All right, guys. All right.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Yes.
This concludes the presentations this morning. The most telling comment, or one of the most telling comments in our Prime Minister's delivery, and the vision and objective of a new National Party government are the tools that will enable us as Grenadians to fulfill our potential. And if that is all we are able to achieve, we have truly transformed this beautiful nation of ours. The physical copies of the manifesto are now being handed out. This is the record, this is the account of all of those plans and visions for a new National Party administration from 2018. So let us see what happens on March the 13th. and ensure that that foundation that has been laid will continue, and we will keep on moving. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now move into the questions and answers session. We've been live streaming all morning, so the nation has been hearing the presentations that you have all seen. And there are a number of questions that have come through which I will pose to the presenters. The first, which would be for Minister Steele, is how will National Health Insurance make healthcare more affordable to the vendor in St. George's, the young single mother, the steel bender, and the working class family? Minister Steele.
Thank you, Simon. The basic principle is that in unity there is strength, and in numbers there is strength. With National Health Insurance, those who can afford to are contributing continuously. They're not simply contributing when they need health care. They're contributing continuously so that it can give the support to those who are unable to make that contribution but have that need. So that is how it benefits. The steel bender, the vendor may not be able to make the significant contribution at that time for oncology services or dialysis. But the fact that I am, that you are, and others are making the contribution at that time, those who are in need will be able to benefit when their need arises.
Thank you very much, Minister Steele. The second question: what is the plan to increase Grenada's participation in international sporting and performing arts events? And this question is posed to Minister Pierre.
Thank you, Simon. What is important, I think, to note is that participation or greater participation at that international level, it's not something that would happen overnight. It is a process. And that is why it's so important that we invest more in our children. So the expansion of our program at the primary and secondary school level is so important that we build them from the ground up. But important, some of the things I mentioned before, because it's not going to be the snap of our finger that something like this would happen. We have to invest from both. So it means that our facilities, our support services, we've been able to provide a physiotherapist through the Ministry of Sports for the first time in our history, designated to sports people, sportsmen and sportswomen. It means we have to go further. The counseling. What about the young guy from Mount Horn, from Grand Bacolet, from any part of the rural communities who come from a broken home but have the talent? How do we support these people to rise and to go further? So our facilities, our support services that we provide, our financial support, the young child who is doing well in school but doesn't have the support services, but has the potential to be a great athlete. So our support for persons at that level is so very important. But what about those organizations, those associations that need to give the technical support to those athletes? How do we strengthen them? So it's a process in which we have to, along the way, continue to invest, and then we reap the fruits of participation at the national, international, regional level. And the same is for culture. We have to invest from the ground up, from the cradle. We have to invest in the development of our young people in those areas and give them all the necessary support. Look at where our top performers have come from. Look at where they have come from. If we provide them with the support, if we provide the enabling condition and the support that they need, our young people in the area of sports and culture will continue to make us very proud.
Thank you, Minister Pierre. If you just stay there, there is another question that is just coming. These are coming in thick and fast from social media. To adequately prepare for the jobs of the future, we must start preparing our children and youth. Does the new National Party plan to introduce subject areas such as coding, programming, animation, robotics into the school system and programs like the Imani program? Sister Pierre.
Quite obviously. If we do not change with the times, we are going to continue to be left behind and we will not keep moving. So it's very important that around us we monitor what is happening, not just locally, regionally and internationally. When the Imani program started many years ago, you would recognize that we have moved from an administrative type promotion program, secretarial services, and those sort of areas. We have moved far and wide to include a wide variety of technical skills, TVET skill areas, so plumbing, electrical, AC repair, fishing, agriculture, garment production. There has been a transformation recognizing the demand of the job market. So that is why the tapping into the yachting industry has become a priority because of the demands and the areas of possibilities that exist there. So quite obviously, information technology. We are in the technological age. And so if we don't move in that direction, our young people will be left behind. Our government will never allow our young people to be left behind.
Thank you, Minister Pierre. I think I'll pose the same question to our Minister for Communications and Works, Minister Bowen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With respect to the comments on the question that was just asked, I want to indicate that from the information and communication technology standpoint, we as a government have been doing quite a lot. And this is only one component of information and communication technology. Yes, we recall that just a few months ago, we sent a team from Grenada to Washington to participate in a world exhibition on robotics and others. In this context, we will be following, and the learning management system that we have as part of the National ICT program, where we have a company engaged in Grenada to ensure that we integrate all facets of ICT into the various streams of activities. And it is not only in this context, educational context, but we have the World Bank program where we'll be training all our public servants to deliver services online. So the entire society will change from lining up and having face-to-face interaction with people. Yes? You will be able to sit at home or at your workplace and during the period after work and apply for services from your government and receive these services. You will have to get some equipment at home, and this will all be part of the program. And so ICT and the learning, all the components that were described there will be part of the educational system and part of the ICT program. We have 3 programs as well. The MGRM program, that's a group, world-renowned, respected group that we have here in Grenada working with the government. Then we have the infrastructural part where private-public partnership with Digicel will be running the fiber ring throughout Grenada. We'll be linking Grenada to Carriacou and Petit Martinique by the undersea cable so that all the broadband requirement will be met. Robotics. Robotics, I could tell you, will be part of it. You cannot reach a stage as in Japan where you have the big laboratories to do things. But I was extremely proud of our team, that team that went to represent us in Washington, and the fact that we can interact with persons, and the community was very proud of what Grenada can do.
Very much, Minister Byrne. If you could just remain there. The next question that's come through also applies to your area. The NNP is well known as the infrastructure government. What are the immediate plans to upgrade the road and drainage network in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? Minister Bowen.
Thank you again. And I'm extremely happy that we have graduated from the term concrete government to infrastructure government. It is important. It means that we are learning. Remember, concrete is only part of the infrastructure. The ICT is a critical component. It is infrastructure. Energy infrastructure. Telecommunications infrastructure. We have liberalized the telecommunication market many years ago, since 2000. And therefore, you know, I feel extremely happy that we're moving forward. And you also have the soft infrastructure. This has to do with the educational aspect and the teaching in school of the same ICT and robotics and so forth. All of it is infrastructure. And without infrastructure, you cannot have a development. You cannot have a country that's worthwhile living in. And all of this is that transformational component that we spoke about this morning. The finances and the economy of the country is critical to give the lifeblood. That is the cash, the monies, so that we can achieve all of those things. But in that context, with respect to the physical infrastructure, roads, etc., we are embarking now on a strict focus. Everything we do now must be related to climate change. Our Western Corridor, funded by the $29 million grant given by the British government to us, the infrastructure component will be looked at in the context of climate change, where you have weather and erosion, and we will be embarking on this program. In fact, the consultants are in place, and pretty soon we'll be going out for contractors to work along the Western Corridor. At the same time, we have our farm roads. We're linking the infrastructure to serve the various sectors, the sectors that will develop our country. So, $63 million will be invested, and this one is a very soft loan from the Kuwait Fund, the OFID organization, and the government of Grenada. So farm roads throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique will be embarked upon. Then we have this $29 million St. Patrick roads. We know the bridges and roads along the St. Patrick area, they're deteriorating. And very soon, in fact, we have limited the weight on those bridges. So these are 3 externally funded projects. But locally, brothers and sisters, we will boost up our asphalt road infrastructure, not only from the maintenance standpoint, but we'll also be undertaking projects funded locally to ensure that our asphalt roads are in good condition. We may, I say, we hope the Almighty will bless us, and very soon, remember, we may be able, very soon we're talking about 5-year span, we may be able to be producing asphaltic cements from our own natural resources. So we will not have to wait from Trinidad and Tobago, and unless you put out your money first, put it out in US dollars, and wait 3 months before you get bitumen into Grenada. That system may change. And should we go further with the blessings of those who are close to the Almighty, help us to pray. Because if that report, if that report comes out, and already it is showing significant resources in certain areas, but we want to be sure that we can cover all these things. And so our infrastructure, and our roads in particular, will be taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you for that comprehensive outline of our concrete plans. We've talked about support for our people. Now, these are the concrete plans. So, ladies and gentlemen, the final question from social media is to our Prime Minister. As a career politician and a regional leader with vast experience in governance, how important is political stability, sound leadership, and visionary and experienced team in the development and prosperity of a nation? Prime Minister.
You know, I think I hinted to that aspect in my vision statement. Leadership is fundamental in anything you do. If a home is not provided with clear guidelines and leadership, that home is going to be in trouble. A business is not provided with visionary leadership, that business will be in trouble. In fact, it won't last. With the revolutionary changes taking place, you have to continuously stay on top of what's happening. Otherwise, you would be extinct. And that goes for sports. It's no wonder why the West Indies team is in the state it is today. Leadership, fundamental. Stability, peace, order is crucial. But again, they all trace right back to leadership. So we can't minimize this significant aspect of peace, stability, and political leadership. The countries in the region that went through torrid times in the past, I wouldn't call names because they're my brothers and my sisters. Trace it back. Countries with vast natural resources, very vast natural resources, found themselves literally as basket cases. Clearly, sisters and brothers, the political leadership, or leadership generally speaking, was critical to the occurrence of what took place. So the role of leadership is absolutely essential. And that's why it is so important that we understand this. It's not about personalities. The personalities go and come. But if the vision and direction and principles and character is not there, it will fall apart. So I believe this question, whoever asked it, is clearly understanding the significance of that variable in where we are today. And therefore, I think is an excellent note, Brother Chairman, for us to end the social media interaction with us here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. We now open the floor to the media present. If there are any questions from the media. Just 2 or 3 questions. A lot has been covered this morning. A lot to digest. Maybe you're still digesting.
Good morning, Siobhan MTV. A lot was said, of course, and a lot to digest, but in the area of education, just a little clarity I wanted and some specification as towards infrastructure development and some of the schools that's going to be getting priority, well, in your words, after the next general elections.
There is a comprehensive program, if I may respond to this. There's a comprehensive program in play during this administration, somewhere in the region of $100 million has been dedicated to the upgrading of somewhere in the region of 30 schools. These are major upgrades, whether it's actually some new schools, extensions, wing extensions, technical labs, renovations, upgrades. Significant work has been done on that. That program is going to continue within the next period. Half a dozen schools have already been identified for major upgrades in the new session, plus additional schools. And there is an ongoing program to identify new resources, grant resources, concessionary loans. We're speaking to international other governments regarding support. And the upgrading of all our schools is a top priority of this administration and a future NNP administration.
In the area of tourism, a lot has been said pertaining to what's going to be happening here in Grenada. I'm trying to figure out the focus for Carriacou because I personally believe that island has a lot of potential, but we have not been tapping into that potential. What is your government's plan for that island?
Well, Carriacou and Petit Martinique have the potential to contribute far more significantly to the tourism product of our state. Carriacou, both Carriacou and Petit Martinique, first of all, has a very strong cultural core. We have many festivals which can and need to be expanded. But having the culture at the heart of that tourism development is key. But there are some major initiatives that are outlined within the manifesto. One is a relocation and the redevelopment of the airport at Lauriston so that it can take larger planes, it can be accessed by LIAT, by private jets, etc. So the whole issue of improved access, transportation to Carriacou can be addressed. This we see as the stimulus for major development in Carriacou, resort development, villa development, etc. There are a number of investors who have already shown interest there. Other areas such as boat building, yachting, we have a major marina project that is close to completion, a world-class yachting marina facility which will draw additional yachting tourism to the state of Grenada, but Carriacou would be able to specifically benefit from this. So the plans for the development of tourism in Carriacou and Petit Martinique are significant. And again, these are real, concrete plans. George. No, they'll mute it from up there. Do you have the microphone?
Yeah, I just want to take this opportunity to clarify a couple of issues. In the tourism sector, there are multiple areas that advances tourism. Minister Steele mentioned the area of the hotels development program and the opportunities that can create for the expansion of tourism. But the yachting industry is also a crucial area for opportunities. And we believe, being on the southern end of these islands, we have an excellent opportunity to maximize the economic potential in tourism through the yachting industry. And I believe that's an area we should be much more aggressive on, and we will be. We have started that process. The number of marinas, the number of yachting areas, the marinas that are here in Grenada, several, and before they are built and finished, they are filled. In fact, they're looking for more rooms. The job potential and for skills people to deal with the problems related to the youths is so large. And that's an area of importance. For example, in the Caracol situation, that marina project, which was stopped by the former government, was quite frightening. Investors are coming here to expand opportunities. You will stop it because they have a relationship with somebody in the past? I would like to see more and more investment. I don't care who they're friendly with. It doesn't matter to me. Every job that is created in the country is job for Grenadians, Caraconians, and Peter Martinicans. So I want to make this point. But the other point I want to clarify is, in my last presentation at the rally, I did mention the fact that we'll have a new airport. We have plans already in place to put a new airport in Peter Martinic and Caracol. And the news release went out that I'm building a new airport in Peter Martinic. I said Peter Martinic and Caracol, but we are accustomed here in Caracol name first. We cannot talk about a new airport in Peter Martinic without having to build one in Caracol. So maybe the next Prime Minister for me maybe have the responsibility for the new airport in Peter Martinic. But the one I'm talking about is a new airport. We will expand the other one to make sure you can take larger aircraft for the time being, because the new airport can be built overnight. But plans are already in place. The sites have been identified. The contractor who is now going to be doing the expansion work at the airport here in Point Celine and Morris Bishop, they also will be looking at putting some design in place for the new airport in Caracol and Peter Martinic and Grenada.
Any further questions from the media? Then, Brenda, do you want to?
Thank you, Simon. And my role here is very simple, so thank everyone for coming out this morning. We have had a wonderful morning. You have had a lot of information that you can use that will take you forward. I know over the next few days as we campaign, the candidates will be talking about the vision going forward for the next 5 years, and you will be attending the meetings and you'll be hearing. We have handed out the manifesto for you to read and for you to discuss among yourselves. I want to thank Dr. Mitchell for taking time off his busy schedule to be with us, Minister Bowen, Minister Pierre, Minister Steele for their presentation. I think it was great. You were very explicit. I am very proud standing here to hear the team and what they had to say. I'm certain most of you are here, everyone that is here, you have learned a lot. I know a manifesto are very important for any campaign, for any party, and I am proud that we at the NNP have done something so wonderful. To the media for being here, to all of the students that are here, to all of the business people, the invited guests, the other candidates that are here, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out in your numbers. We are very happy that you're here to share with us. I want to thank you all. Enjoy the rest of the day. We have some eats and drinks outside, and please, before you leave, just help yourself. And don't forget on the 13th what is expected of you. Thank you so much.
Well done.
To the end of what is the Manifesto launch 2018. As indicated, we have come to the end of the Manifesto launch for the new National Party in 2018 general elections, which are due in about 11 days. Andre Donald here with Francis Pierre. Francis, it has been quite a very interesting morning.
Yeah, a very interesting morning and a good experience. And it seems as if the NNP individuals, they are very upbeat. They seem to be very comfortable and happy with the presentation. I've been listening to some of the questions that have been posed to them, and it seems very comfortable. they believe they have done a good job.
What do you believe?
Well, I think looking back from the past record, they seem to be very confident. And I think that is very important in politics. As I said before, I don't like coward politicians. I like people who prepare to embrace the challenges that we have. They will be upfront with people and embrace the challenges. And they speak about the implementation of the national insurance scheme. I'm very, very supportive of that. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of challenges. I do hope people come on board. As I said before, health is a problem all over the world. I've been speaking to a number of returning nationals from England and Canada and the United States of America, and they too have their problem. And even the countries in the Caribbean is very hesitant of embracing a national health program. So I think this is good. The pension scheme again, you know, the Pension Disqualification Act, the Revolutionary Boys, I think they made a mistake with that. But then the point now is to correct it, is to move on. And I like the kind of decisive approach. But that's what you have when you have a stable system, a stable environment, and people who prepare, willing to take risk.
Joining us now is former press secretary, if I may say so myself, Barry Collymore. Good morning, Barry. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Haven't seen you for a while, bro. You look smart.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Now, Barry, tell me, you've been around this before. This is, as I say, nothing new to you, but it may have been an experience that you have never had before. In that, Barry, the new National Party seems to have pulled out all the stops with this manifesto here.
Very, congratulations to the party for a very well done presentation. No doubt it took a lot of effort and excellent teamwork, and I thought it was a good presentation. I enjoyed it.
What stood out for you here this morning?
Well, what stood out for me is the incentives for and the section on the productive sectors. I believe that we need to ensure that the productive sectors are energized and that they are stimulated enough that we can create enough jobs and opportunities for everyone. And that is the way economies grow. That is the way people progress, by having enough jobs, enough disposable income, enough for everyone. And the productive sectors are the way that you grow any economy. So I'm very happy about that.
Nobody knows a prime minister better than his press secretary. Being his former press secretary, what would you say about his tone here this morning?
Well, he said it all. He said he's the happiest man in Grenada, so I don't need to say any more on that. He said it all.
I'm sure my co-host here would have a couple of questions for you. Francis?
Of course, I want to ask you. I mean, you have some experience with us here in Grenada, and you see what is really going on in the Caribbean with the economic situation. So quite a number of Caribbean communities are struggling and are facing the International Monetary Fund or their own homegrown structural adjustment program. What's your reaction to the success that we have here?
I think that the government has taken a very careful approach to the economy. The first 5 years were focused primarily on getting the fiscal situation right and correcting as much as possible the unemployment situation. Having done that and having achieved great success on that, and doing it in a way that you don't starve the horse while the grass grows. Then now you can focus on sharing some of that success which has been achieved. So I think the business community and the employees and everyone, entrepreneurs, everyone is looking forward to the next 5 years with cautious optimism, because the world is not is not in any means a perfect place. Globally, we still have a lot of challenges. Businesses here are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but you're not at the end of the tunnel yet. So I'd say cautious optimism, and I'd say congrats and well done to the government for getting us here.
Barry, a wonderful morning it has been here at the Trade Center Annex at Monrouge, and I want to thank you so very much for talking to us.
Thank you, Andre. You're looking well.
Thank you, Barry. Okay, great. It's another new National Party production. We're going to be graced now by Mr. Victor Phillip. Victor is the campaign manager for Anthony Boson, the candidate for the St. Patrick West constituency. Morning to you, Victor. How are you doing?
Morning. I'm doing fine.
Okay, Victor, is this your first attendance, if I would put it that way, to the launch of a manifesto?
Yes, it is.
And what has it been like for you?
I think it's a real thrilling experience. And when I say thrilling, I mean, besides it's my first experience, because before you just receive a manifesto, but being part of it and seeing the presentation, which was perfectly done, and especially by the younger people of the party, and touching the topics that I'm so much concerned about as a lecturer at MCC myself, and the programs that they have in place, I'm happy and honored to be here.
Programs like?
We're talking about the ICT, the robotic, the electronics, the part that we have to be concentrating on. Somebody had asked a question about what plans they have in place for programming and stuff like that. I think this is real because we ourselves at MCC had realized that and start doing that. Because even today, you realize that the manual labor is been going away, but it's not taking away the jobs. It's replacing it by other jobs. For instance, you'll find garbage trucks nowadays don't even have people behind it. Rather than you have arms coming out and pick up the bin and shake it in and put it down. But the issue is, who are writing those programs? Because they have to be fixed, they have to be written and to put in so that you can get those things to control it. And that's in that way we have it. Even microwave, fridge, cars, everything now has a computer in it. So we have to get on board with this programming thing so that we can get people ready for the jobs that is being available now.
Francis?
I realize the passion in which he speaks about education. I particularly like that topic to education. The government has been putting quite a lot of emphasis on youth program. What's your take? You believe they're on the right track with the approach towards the young people in general?
Of course, I think they are, and they have to continue and do much more, especially within the area of skills. Long gone the days where we talk about the white-collar jobs. They are important, but we are a small country, and we need to be able to fix what we have. We cannot be bringing people here all the time. I mean, even our people, when we go overseas and study, people take us because we are good. And then after, in our process, we are bringing people in to do the work. So why not train our people? You know, added to that, you know, the skill, we need to do much more, as I said, because skill is what we have, and we need the people, and also the apprenticeship. You know, people talking about the Imani program. But come on, all the developed countries have programs like Imani programs, because you have to have an apprenticeship. After school, you need some help, or you need some, you know, guidance in to learn what you are going to do, so in order for you to become a professional. So I think they should push more into that, so that we could get our young people engaged constructively.
Victor, I want to thank you very much for gracing our microphone this morning, and do enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.
Okay, speaking there to Victor Phillip, campaign manager for the constituency of St. Patrick West. Of course, that candidate is none other than Anthony Boson. Joined now by Siddiqui Sylvester, and Siddiqui Sylvester is one of the silent persons behind the campaign. He's very much involved in the ICT sector of the campaign, and you must be a happy man, Siddiqui, with the focus that the party has placed in their manifesto on ICT.
Yes, well, going forward, I think it's absolutely critical that all sectors of development incorporate ICT as part of the programs going forward.
Francis?
Stability in any country. I look at you come here and I just think about it. Stability in any country, peace and harmony must be an important factor for development.
Yes, and I think Grenada has witnessed that over the last 5 years. We hope that we'll continue to. It's critical, again, that the people understand that they play a role in this aspect. It's not just a matter of the government, but we all have to look out for the security and the peace and stability of the country.
After this structural adjustment program and the government success story, you really need a government to continue to respect the programs and that bring about that success, and particularly the social programs. Because if you have a structural adjustment program at the expense of the people who come from the lower socioeconomic grouping, you're back to trouble again.
Well, the social partners, the people as a whole, has played a role in the successes of the government over the last 5 years. Yes, it has been difficult for some of us. I would say for the majority of the country it has been difficult. But there is, you know, a person is not born easy. Look at the question of childbirth. Childbirth is not an easy something. So the nation as a whole participates in this pain of the birth, the rebirth of the economy and the rebirth of the country. Basically, the country was stifled in the period that preceded the last 5 years. And we now see that rebirth, we now see that growth, and obviously, you know, as a child, once you begin to creep, you walk, then the progress is obviously better. So we keep moving.
As I say, Mohammed Siddiqui Sylvester, thank you very much and have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you, brother. And as I say to the people, March 13th, keep moving. Progress has to continue.
All right, thank you very much. Francis, quite some interesting comments from the persons that we're speaking to here as we get ready to be joined by the present manager of the Marketing and National Importing Board, Mr. Ruel Edwards. Ruel, good morning.
Good morning to you, Andre, and all the listeners and viewers. Good morning.
What's up?
I'm very well. I'm amongst those people who are happy. I got up this morning, I had a breakfast, I did a nice exercise, I have good health and strength, and I'm grateful to God for having the opportunity to see another day. I'm doing well, I can't complain.
Without agriculture, the Marketing and National Importing Board is nothing, if I can make that statement. However, you've been here and having listened to the main aspects of the manifesto, you having a copy in your hand, what does it speak to in terms of agriculture for you and the MNIB?
Well, yeah, agriculture was featured very heavily in the manifesto, but even before I get there, as the past president of the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the area of the economy, I think, is quite important. And looking at the manifesto, it started off with the economy in trying to be the fastest growing economy, not just in the OECS but the Caribbean. I felt that was good. But some concrete recommendations were included in the manifesto, such as the implementation of a national export strategy that Grenada has, that has been developed, the implementation of a Small Business Development Act for small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises. And when I sit in marketing board, I interact with a lot of people that are involved in the guava, the tambram ball, the cheese straw, the pennacool, those that are doing the chip sugar cake, etc. Those are all small businesses. And so the manifesto, having regard to speaking to those, I felt was quite important, and I think it's going to help the work that I do every day. So as it relates to agriculture, some areas of pretty lasting management was included in the manifesto, the whole aspect of services and the propagation stations, because we can only sell from an MNIB perspective what are available. So if produce are not available, we're not able to sell produce because we're not growers. And so having regard to speaking to those, improvement in the services, improvement in technology, I think is going to help with productivity, help with the farmers being able to produce, and that in turn is going to help Marketing Board with more supplies so that we can meet market requirements.
Does it speak to, I mean, in the manifesto here, does the manifesto speak to bringing in a younger audience into agriculture?
Yes, there were two areas when I quickly browsed through it that spoke to it. The first one was the Maribor Farm School, and to do some more work in that regard to train the young people, but to do what is called introduction of technologies. And I felt that was quite useful. what I mean by that, we're speaking of light power tools, but also things as irrigation systems, drip irrigation, shade houses, using things as aquaponics and hydroponics. So you have what is called modern agriculture. It's not just a fork and spade mechanism, but you're doing things under shade protection. People can actually go to work with a soft pants and a shirt, like how I'm dressed here, and they can do agriculture in that context. And to me, that is good. I don't see young people in this day and age wanting to use fork and spade in an everyday process of growing fruits and vegetables, but I see them in using power tools. I see them in using ICT in agriculture. The other thing that stood out to me were different career opportunities and having specialized people. So we speak of nutmeg, we speak of cocoa, we speak of soursop. Why it is we don't have a scientist in those areas to help us with product development. And the manifesto spoke to that, and I think that is quite good. If the government is, NNP is elected, re-elected into power, and they have an opportunity to implement, I think the agricultural sector from that perspective can benefit greatly.
Francis?
Are you comfortable that the principles and of the manifesto, the principles of the manifesto, would serve as a catalyst for marketing board expansion?
Yeah, well, we operate based on the economic context. So if the economy is doing well and farmers have the necessary support that they can produce, then we have greater supplies that we can sell, and consumers, if they have resources within an economy, then they can buy from us. So we operate within that context. For us, the songness of the manifesto, basically looking at the economy and how to ensure that the economy grows, job creating growth, to me was quite important. To me, that stood out a lot. Wanting to ensure that we train people better and that we have better health care, and those things all interact with food. For us, though, a big thing, and the Prime Minister mentioned it in the vision, and Senator Steele, when we look at the school feeding program, I think that is important, that we are able to feed our young people. Why it is we have to import food to give to the young people. The government is paying to import food to feed the schools, when the government can actually buy local produce from a marketing board or from the local farmers to feed our young people. It only makes sense to me that the school feeding program is better entwined into the local produce supply stream. To me, that stood out. So when I look at it, also the whole aspect of increasing productivity, because for an economy to grow, you need to be able to produce more. You can produce more by having more people, you can produce more by having more capital, or you can produce more by using the same amount of people and capital with the introduction of technology. And ICT being a main feature of the economic structure going forward stood out. And I think that is going to help. So you can use ICT in agriculture, you can use ICT in education, you can use ICT in health. To me, that was nicely put together, and whoever I think is behind the putting together of that manifesto did a really good job. The presentation today was extremely professional, but I think it's important to examine the content of what's included here and how that is going to serve. The final thing was the whole aspect of continuity, and being able to continue some of the projects that were started stood out to me as quite good.
Notwithstanding that you, of course, are embedded within agriculture, if you were to take away one thing from the manifesto today and to relate to a friend, a comrade, whatever, somebody who's probably living abroad, what would that be? That
would be job creating economic growth to cater for the next generation. To me, that was important. You can have growth in your economy, but if it's not creating jobs, then your people suffer. And to me, when I saw the pages of the manifesto and it spoke to job-creating economic growth, to me that is the main thing that stood out to me. Because if you don't have growth in your economy, you don't have the resources to pave the roads for education, for health, for agriculture, for nothing else. And I'm very impressed with that. I look forward to, if the government is re-elected, them being able to put this into practice. Job-creating economic growth was the single thing for me.
Thank you very much, Ruel Edwards. Your 15 minutes of fame has come to an end.
Actually, I had it before, and for me, it's beyond that. I think I'm entitled to my individual opinion, yes. And I had an opportunity to say what my thoughts are, and I enjoyed. So thank you very much, Grenada.
All right, thanks, Ruel. Take care of yourself. Francis, it has been indeed a fabulous morning. But you know, one of the things, and we probably can have Stanford Simon for a quick comment, because one of the things is that we've not had anybody commenting on the manifesto from a religious perspective. So Stanford Simon is going to join us now, and I don't know if he would have picked up anything within the manifesto. Stanford, good morning. In relation to the church, in relation to religion, is there anything embedded in there?
Well, no, I don't think it is specific embedded. I think what you see is the clarity for which the government is putting its position of what it has done and what it will do. So it's not a pie-in-the-sky manifesto. You look clearly at what needs to be done in terms of education, in terms of healthcare. The biggest one, I think, is the pension. And that even for people, I remember one pastor saying to me that there are many persons who are now retired from his church, and many of them don't have a retirement fund. So the tithing or giving they used to give to the church, they no longer can. Therefore, it affects some of the programs the church will be doing. So that in itself, I think, is one of the biggest thing, I think, for the churches, but for the members of the churches and for Grenadian. And the pension is a big, big one that I'm happy the government is focused on solving it. The second is health, which is another major problem, that when you look at the healthcare service here, there is no set program and a national healthcare service where we know people will be taken care of and be insured if there is a problem that they can be. And I think looking at what the linkages between the health and the environment with the global warming, and you see the climate change, that government putting that in place and tying all of it together, I think is critical with the farm road that they're going to do. I think really you see, and they're saying here, no, we have the money. We're not telling you that we're going to do this. We have the money to do it. So it makes a big difference, I think, in how they have outlined where the government going to go and where they want to project Grenada. Just a note about the yachting industry, because I was speaking to a good friend of mine outside and talking to him about Champy, talking about the yachting industry and where it is. And I asked him the question, Champy, what it is and where it is that we really need to focus on. And he said, look, there is so much happening. There's so much happening now that you're quite clear that the yachting industry is changing. On the airport, there may be 5 or 6 private jets. One of the boats that's out there costs 200 million, far more than any hotel that you're going to build. It means then that the Grenada economy can grow tremendously from what is going to happen in the yacht industry. I know you talk about in the employment and training, where government say it's going to focus. I think that those things are critical to the development of the country.
So all in all, Stanford, based on what you said, if the social aspect of the society is taken care of, then the religious aspect is good. Well, yeah, it comes hand in hand. The problem is, when people become more prosperous, they just forget God. That's a problem. When they now feel that they have money to spend, now they have money to travel, now they're living better, they're more comfortable, they just pray less, they read their Bible less, and come to church less. So as much as I want them to be prosperous, I just want to give the warning that I want them to keep that in mind. As you prosper, do not allow that to keep you away from reading your Bible, serving God, and doing what you need to do. Are you registered to vote?
Of course I'm registered to vote.
I just want to find out. That's all.
Yeah, well, I know.
Of course I am.
Well, come on. I mean, I just have to tell you this. Of course I'm registered to vote. And I hope you are.
I am.
Oh, good.
I'm going to vote NNP. How about you?
No, don't ask me. I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote. No, I'm not. But you know clearly where
I don't know. I'm asking. I am going to vote NNP. Who are you going to vote for?
Of course I'm going to vote NNP. So NNP, so of course, where I'm going to vote? I don't know. Well, I'm telling you where I'm going to vote. No, you know. No, I know. Yes, Andre.
Okay, great. Francis, we basically come to the end of what has been a very interesting morning here at the Trade Center.
Yes, a very interesting morning and a good presentation, and a number of individuals who we have had the opportunity to speak to and exchange ideas with them. Seems that they're very comfortable with what they heard and what they read, and they're satisfied. Well, obviously, the government has taken on some big ones. The pension scheme definitely is a big one. I mean, for 30-odd years, nobody touching that. The national health insurance, that's massive. And every time you speak about that, I know the pains and the tears, and Obama does wear his tears. Eh?
Yeah.
He don't cry. He wears his tears. That he went on to get Obamacare. In fact, they have even christened. They helped baptize. They helped plan Obamacare. And other countries was looking at it with envy. And now Grenada to embrace a national health insurance scheme, I think that is great. But they have not abandoned their social program. They keep that up. So I think if things go as they say it should go, we're in for a big, really takeoff.
Did I hear the political leaders speak to oil and gas?
Of course, they're speaking to it very cautiously, optimistic and hopeful, and very cautiously. But you could see the smile that comes on their face when they speak about it. We've been that since the devil was a little boy, you know.
Yeah.
Every government that come talk about oil and gas, but only talk. Now we have a situation where it seems tangible, where it's right. It seems that it's right there. You know, people speak about it.
He knows something that we don't know.
Well,
as a matter of fact, I am going to be at, he did say, make sure you come to, at Rose Hill the other night, he did say, make sure you come to the final rally at Pearls. I have something to tell you.
Well, I think he must be optimistic. The mere fact that we get where we are now is enough justification for somebody to be happy. I mean, during the 70s, I wish Uncle Gary to get oil, you know. I pray.
You probably might have been a minister.
I pray Uncle get oil. No oil. The revolution came. And we thought there was some hope for oil. No oil. So no, in this particular era, when you are thinking about getting on to alternative energy, and even if at this stage Grenada could get some oil or some, that would be extremely good. And now that you have a stable system going here, the rest of the hard cold truth is that the rest of the Caribbean countries is admiring what is taking place here. You know, and some of them is even recommending that Grenada option should be used as a template. People have to recognize that. That's important. It's good for Grenada. So if we can obtain oil together with that package, I think it will be very good for your development.
You've been my guest this morning, and I want to give you this opportunity. I don't think it's been given to anyone before, to a guest. I want to give you the opportunity to wrap up the program. Look at the camera and wrap the program up.
Brothers and sisters, Grenadians and CARICOM nationals, we had a beautiful opportunity here. It was a pleasant experience to see the launch of the manifesto of the NNP, and I think generally people were very comfortable, and I like the peace, the harmony, and the pleasantness that they were showing when they were speaking about it. And those that we had the opportunity to interview was very comfortable with it. So let us hope all is well. And as we sign off, once again we want to thank you very much for being with us this morning. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to take this opportunity now to say a very special thank you to our online viewers and listeners, to all the listeners of City Sounds and CRFM, all the listeners of 91.9 and 91.5 Real FM. I do believe we had listeners out of Karaku also. We'd like to say a very special hi and hello to you, and here's hoping that you have a wonderful day. From me to you, take care of yourself, God bless. Until another time, another production from the new National Party. My name, Andrew Donald. Goodbye. Take care now.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. On March 13th, choose to keep Grenada moving forward. Mark an X next to the house. Vote competence. Vote NNP.
After a powerful nomination day, the new National Party candidates are ready for your vote. Tuesday, February 20th was the first step towards the restoration of pensions, the implementation of national health insurance, the building of over 600 houses for Grenada, further expansion in tourism, and the creation of hundreds of more jobs. The Dream 15 is ready to take Grenada to the next level. On March 13, come out and vote the new National Party. Vote competence.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, 1,265 youth engaged with the GIAP. Between 2014 and 2017, 3,725 youth engaged with the Amani program, with a spend of over $190 million. So let's keep moving. Vote NNP. Vote competence. It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, $70 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Between 2014 and 2017, $185 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
I know who I'm voting for. NNP I'm voting for. Tell me who you're voting for. NNP we voting for. So let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving. Every man is smiling. Let's keep moving. Salary receiving. Healthcare improving. Keep moving. Pension coming. Keep moving. Better condition. Keep moving. NNP the party for the land. Let's keep moving. Show me your colors. Let's keep moving. Your green colors. We came back in 2013. With a clean sweep we win 15. And my country progressing. NNPD winning team. 3,000 jobs for Imani. The way forward we please. Numbers of higher education. The past 4 years volume billion. We create small business. We have the facts to prove this. Roamed in billion a day. NNP all the way. Let's keep moving. The economy growing. Let's keep moving. Construction booming. Let's keep moving.
Building a stronger economy means all Grenadian workers benefit, those who work in the public service and those who work elsewhere. Now that the period of shared sacrifices is over, the benefits must be shared among every Grenadian. More money for house repair, more money to improve healthcare, more money for training, more money for education, and yes, more money for public servants. $55 million in various payments. We are the Grenadian family looking out for each other. And even as we fight for ourselves and our families, we always remember our neighbors. We forge ahead together.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Unify and belong inclusive and productive society. This way the best party that's going. Who does run the country the right way? NNP. And work hard for the people all day. NNP. Who's the party that keep it moving?
We're in Caracou and you can see the vibe, feel the energy. There's so much energy here. We're talking to so many people. Let's go around, talk to some more.
Best nation, best group, best party, vote the NNP.
Keep moving. Sitting and watching. There is room for you. We will welcome you. Because we need modern and cultural facilities.
Now remember, the new National Party would always and has always and would always be the best party, not just for me, but for all the young people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Remember, guys, performance always beat overtalk, and the new National Party has always given you great performance.
NNP all the way. Keep on moving from Miss Pamela Moses.
March 13th, we voting for Kindra, NNP. Keep moving, keep moving.
Yo, Gemini, NNP all the way. Dr. Keith Mitchell, he's a boss. Vote for him and he'll get what you need. Everything. Vote for the boss and he will give you what you need. NNP all the way. Let's go.
NNP, who's the party that keep it moving? NNP, who does run the country the right way? NNP, and work hard for the people all day. NNP, who's the party that keep it moving? NNP.
We are here at the NNP National Youth Rally, Rhythm of Hope, here at Tempe in St. George's. Let's go talk to the youth, find out what's on their minds.
March 13, we will be voting for the Youth National Party with Alvin Darrow from Guam St. John's. Let's keep it moving. We cannot sit down. We cannot sit down. Young people, we need to keep moving to the new National Party. We from Guam St. John's and we will be voting for Alvin Darrow.
We can't sit down. We can't sit down.
No, we can't sit down, and we won't sit down. Listen, we need progress. We can't sit down. We have to keep moving. And when March 13th comes, we vote in NNP. Vote NNP all the way.
I'm voting for the National Party.
We voting for NNP.
The best. On election day, March 13th, vote for NNP, put an X by the house.
I want you to know that at the end of the day, we have an election coming up. And despite all of the up and down the country have seen, we have not seen a better up than with this particular party. I can speak to you as a youth, I can speak to you as an educated man. We have a lot to look forward to, but it's up to you. So, do the right thing.
Elections is about choice. What's your choice?
My choice is NNP, all the way. Coming on March 13th, you gotta join me in supporting the party and supporting the future.
I'm voting for the new National Party because I believe in the future of our country. I believe in the youth, and I know that Dr. Mitchell and his team of freedom fighters will take Grenada to its rightful place in the Western Hemisphere.
So let's keep moving.
Yes, let's keep moving.
Let's keep moving. Keep moving.
Let's keep moving. We cannot sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down. We can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. We can't sit down.
Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving.
Keep the progress moving. And let's look forward to a better Grenada.
NNP, who's the party that keep it moving?
Hi, I am Peter David. Since growing up in Asheville Avenue, hanging out on the Carnage and in Four Roads, building friendships, making memories in River Road, and fighting for the youth of Darbo. These are all reasons why this place will always be home. I've been around this town and this town has been with me. Ours is a relationship for a lifetime. You have called on me once again to represent you. With humility and a great sense of pride for my hometown, I accept the call. So count on me and count me in. It will be my honor to serve you. This is our town and our home, our moment to lift each other up. Together, let's take the town of St. George to the next level. Thank you for placing your confidence in me once again.
The new National Party has been good to St. David's and more is coming. Youth unemployment has reduced drastically. Infrastructure has improved. The standard of living of people have improved over the years. Our focus is to ensure that all our people in St. David's improve in their way of life and standard of living, and we are giving hope to young people. It is a united team that can deliver such hope to people and such benefits. And therefore this is not the time to take risk with the future. We must be committed to the present. And I say to you, let us all keep moving.
5 years ago, we started an incredible journey together. We dreamed and we strove to achieve. We are happy with the success we have had, but not content. The arch of progress is bending in the right direction in St. George Northeast, and many people have benefited. But there are still others that are yet to be lifted by the rising tide. We cannot leave those people behind, and so we continue to fight, and we continue to push on. I am Tobias Clement, and I'm running again to continue what we have started. Our dreams are too big, our ambitions too large for us to stop here. So let's keep moving.
I have been afforded the greatest honor to have been able to serve the people of St. Mark faithfully this past years. Every day I get up with the same enthusiasm to go to work for you. Today I still have that passion, and tomorrow I look forward to fighting for you again. We are happy to have made a difference in the lives of so many people. But we appreciate that it is a never-ending struggle. Whatever progress we have made, we shall never be satisfied. And that's why I am coming back to you for your support again. We have done a lot, but we still have more to do. Therefore, in St. Mark, we shall continue to keep moving.
I am Yolande Bain Horsford, and right behind me here is my alma mater, St. Joseph Convent, the institution that I've attended for 5 years. Further back behind me is the Roman Catholic Church that I also attend. And on my left is the convent court that I played all the netball and the tennis throughout my 5 years at this institution. I am very proud of the partnerships I have formed with the people of St. Andrews Southwest these past 5 years. But I'm even more excited about the things we can still do together. We have begun solving the housing challenges and tackling youth unemployment. We have not only been building roads and houses, but more importantly, building communities and building lives. Many people have been given fresh opportunities, and even more shall be lifted up in the coming period. I am ready to take a fresh card and to continue battling for ordinary people who deserve another chance. So let's keep moving.
It is an opportunity where I can be able to make a difference in the lives of many persons in the constituency and also Grenada as a whole. I am prepared to give of service to the people. My whole life has been one of service. So this is another opportunity where I can go out there to help improve the lives of people, the standard of living and the quality of life.
Skita is a young person, and she has been given a wonderful opportunity to help shape lives in our country. She has been doing that within her school for the past 17 years.
I know her doing teaching and making great improvement in that school. Awards, trophies, you know, skits was behind this.
Moses, and I have offered myself to be the next parliamentary representative for my people of St. Patrick's East. I see this as the next step in my life journey of service to people and my determination to give back to my community a community that has always lifted me up. I am particularly passionate about issues affecting youth, and as your MP, will be championing policies and programs that will further empower our young people, as well as our adult male and females all across Grenada, but particularly in St. Patrick's East. I am pleased to have joined a team that has delivered for Grenada. But there is more work to be done, and so we shall keep moving.
South St. George is fast becoming the economic heartbeat of this nation. It is at the center of the housing and construction boom and unprecedented growth in education and tourism sectors. As our area rises, so does the nation. In the coming period, our challenge is to give character to this growth and to bring along the surrounding areas. So we shall improve the skill sets of people to take advantage of the coming jobs with my plan to cut unemployment in the South by 2/3. And we will extend housing assistance and give the many people who need it land tenure. More money will be made available for small business loans for people in such areas as Montoute, Grand Anse Valley, Woodlands, Woburn, Calais and Belmont. The people who are yet to be touched will get their chance. We are excited about tomorrow, and so today we shall keep moving.
Let us have a real talk, St. John's. Let us understand the choice that faces us in this coming election. You can vote for me again, a proud member of a team that has consciously started rebuilding Grenada. Together, we have done the hard work and the opportunities have begun to come. So, you can go for the other guy who threatens to rip it all up and start a new experiment that none of us is sure about. The choices we face are not even close. We have made our sacrifice, and now we must continue to build on our success. I'm proud to be on your team, and so St. John's, we are moving together.
My involvement in politics was always motivated by a desire to see significant change. I am here to serve, and it does not matter in what capacity. And as I move through the constituency, I feel a sense of pride and satisfaction when people tell me, yes, I like what you are doing, I like the services you are providing for us, I like the fact that you are with us and you continue to support us. Therefore, being able to serve, being at the service of our people, I think is my greatest satisfaction. Because if I cannot serve the people, I have no place in politics. When I look at some of the conditions under which some people have to live, I feel a sense of compulsion to do more. That gives me the urge, hey, you have to do more.
I remember those days, not so long ago, that all I wanted was an opportunity. My family was poor, and there were times I didn't even have a pencil to go to school. The people of Paraclete, Moncton, and surrounding areas gave me that opportunity. These ordinary people raised me. It is this history that inspires my politics. Now, it's my turn to give the next generation even greater opportunities than I had. If I can make just one weak person strong, I will be doing God's will. What we did in the 5 years is just a little bit of what we can do in the future. My duty is to steer the course and to keep moving.
Karen Stewart, and I am honored to have answered the call for service. The people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique are dear to my heart. I have grown up in a time of expanded opportunities, showcased by the fact that I have had the fortune to study and become a professional. There are many young people who seek the opportunity that I have had, and I want to be a part of that movement that helps open up new doors. It is the aspiration of ordinary people that inspire this new journey of mine. As my generation rises up to service, you can surely count me in. I am Kendra Matthew Stewart, and I am running for you, the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Keep moving!
St. Andrews Southeast, I am Emmeline Pear. I want to say a special thank you for your love and for your support over the past 5 years. Indeed, I am humbled by the opportunity that you gave me to serve you over those years, and I'm ready to serve you again. We have started a good thing together, and we have a lot more to achieve together. Together we would bring more benefits to our young people, more housing assistance to those who need it, more jobs to those who are unemployed, more support to our elderly, and of course more development to our constituency. So I'm counting on your support. Let us get ready to vote. Let us get ready to put Grenada first. Together we would continue what we have started together. Let's keep moving.
The people of St. George Southeast, like the rest of the nation, have bounced back these past 5 years. We still remember the barren years of 2008 to 2013, when so many of our people lost their jobs, their homes, and their hopes. Together, we have dug ourselves from that deep hole, and we have lifted many people up. But it is a long, hard grind, and the job is not yet finished. So a vote for me in St. George Southeast is a charge from you to work hard, to consolidate the gains, and to be even more determined to fight, especially for those who are yet to be lifted by this rising tide. I am pleased to offer myself to return as your MP in St. George Southeast. Together, we shall keep moving.
Whatever I have done in office, I hope that I can help inspire the next generation of achievers. Having come from a humble family in Brazil, the son of a farmer and market vendor, this country has given me many awesome opportunities in life, a pathway created through education. That's why I want to speak to the next generation all over St. George's Northwest, and indeed the country as a whole. Life is not about where you started, but where you want to go. I'm determined, through this office I hold, to fight to create even more opportunities for you. But you also must have to want to grab them with both hands. These 2018 general elections are therefore about consolidating the gains and backing the fresh opportunities we shall create for the next generation. We shall not look back, nor stand still. Together we shall march forward. Together we shall keep moving. In spite of the many successes we've had, we still can't sit down. It is my determination to solve the difficult pension issue that has been a challenge for every successive government for 33 years. And to have a national health insurance policy system that will cover all Grenadians, ensuring we have all access to be the best quality health care going forward. This new National Party's government has dug this country out of a recession and put it back on a path to prosperity. We have ushered in a period of unity and inclusivity, and the Grenadian Renaissance is on. We are pleased, but not satisfied. And so together, sisters and brothers, we shall keep moving on.
Forty-five political candidates were nominated in Grenada on Tuesday to contest the March 13th general election. The majority of the candidates will represent the new National Party and National Democratic Congress. The other candidates are from 5 minority parties, and there are 4 independent candidates. During Tuesday's exercise, the NNP and NDC each nominated 15 candidates.
It's a proud moment. It's a very sobering moment to be the nominee, the candidate now officially for the South.
I feel excited. I have a great team with me. We have representation from every PD here, and the excitement is on.
Today is a historical day in my political career, and I feel very good. I'm so happy. I'm overwhelmed with the support that I have received, and I'm also happy that the people has accepted me as the candidate for the new National Party for St. Andrew Northeast.
Excited knowing that you're going forward as the next candidate for the new National Party, and then also the next representative for St. Andrews Northwest for a second term.
This is overwhelming for me. It is an honor and a privilege to be so supported by my constituency, St. George Northeast. And despite it all, they come out in the numbers and support, and will continue to do that. We will take this groundswell now and bring it right up into March 13th and beyond.
Very emotional.
Very, very good. And I think we have to give God the praise for today. I thought everything went quite well. There were no hiccups. And first and foremost, I would like to thank all of the loyal NNP supporters who came out today to support myself and Pamela on this very, very important day, which is nomination day.
I feel very happy that we have completed one of the most important tasks for the whole election season, nomination day. So now I am a candidate for St. Patrick's East. That is a great achievement.
From the minority parties, 2 candidates will represent the Grenada Empowerment Movement, GEM, 3 candidates will represent the Progressive Party, TPP, 4 will represent the Grenada Reconnaissance Party, TGR, 1 candidate will represent the Liberal Party, TLP, and 1 candidate will represent the Grenada Progressive Movement, TGPM. The independent candidates are Jocelyn Whiteman, a former member of the New National Party, and Junior Francis, contesting in St. David's, Oswald Peter, St. George's Northwest, and John Fletcher, St. Andrews Southwest. In each constituency, supporters came out in their numbers to support their candidate. There were music, singing, drums, whistles, and in the town of St. George, even a train can be seen. Candidates also had the support of their families sharing in the nomination.
So Mrs. Steele, it's nomination day. How do you feel?
What can I tell you? Elated, very happy for the candidate, but understanding that there is quite a bit of responsibility for the South, very large constituencies, very many issues, but he is raring to go. This is the first step towards election day, and I think we're ready.
Prime Minister, after his nomination in St. George Northwest, again stressed the new National Party position of supporters to avoid attending opposing candidates' meetings.
My only concern is that we keep this process peaceful and that political parties should not encourage their supporters to attend the political meetings of opposing forces. There's nothing wrong with an opponent being at a meeting, but if you're going there and going right up into the speaker's face and trying to disrupt the political meeting, that's a violation of the law, the election law, and therefore the police, whether it's me or whoever, should arrest us if we do that.
Prime Minister also expressed his concern with the invasion of privacy at his residence with the appearance of drones.
Instead of they go and plan how to get people to support them, all they're thinking is mischief. They're sending drones up to the Prime Minister residence to mark me. Whoever is doing this, let me call them Marco man and Marco woman. NNP will never do that. NNP respect the private lives of people. And I want to tell them, the Prime Minister is a Minister of National Security. That is a serious security problem.
Pamela Moses at the rally in Plains addressed supporters and constituents, emphasizing the work that the new National Party has done and the many projects that's still to come.
Brothers and sisters, right here in St. Patrick's East, we have our own constituency programs for our young people. Our youths who are at risk, we are looking out for them. Those who may fall prey to the ills of society. We are endeavoring to lower crime rates, we'll be lowering unemployment, and we'll be increasing productivity right here in our constituency. Which party is creating jobs for you? Who will be voting NNP? Exactly. Brothers and sisters, our young people in St. Patrick's East would have an opportunity not just to be part of our Imani program. As you know, it's a very successful program that helps to contribute to the development of young people. But they'll be part of a farm project very soon, where our young people would have an opportunity to go to farm school, where they can learn all the scientific skills of farming.
Chester Humphrey gave a passionate speech on Sunday. Mr. Humphrey said he will do something that he has never done before.
Comrades, I am going to do something on March 13th that I never did before in my life. I am going to do something on March 13th that I have never done before. I am going to vote the new National Party.
Mr. Humphrey had a strong message for Grenadians about the opposing National Democratic Congress and its leader, Mr. Nazim Burke.
Comrades, you know who I am. You have a song. We know what we have. We don't know what we can get. I am going to tell you what you're going to get. Comrades, listen to me. Listen to me carefully. We have two choices facing us. We have two applicants for a job. One applicant has been doing the work and has been delivering. The other applicant is applying for the job, and I am going to give you his previous job history, and you will decide whether or not you are going to employ him. Because Mr. Burke
is not going to apply for Minister of Finance. He wants to be the Prime Minister. You must decide whether or not you're going to gamble your future, or whether or not you're going to hold on securely to what you have. Comrades, I stand here tonight and I'm not selling myself as an NNP. I stand here as a revolutionary fighter for the workers of this country. And I stand here because of an appeal made by your leader, Dr. Mitchell. And this is not the first time he made that appeal. In 1999, when in the first time in the history of the Caribbean and Grenada, the working people gave him all 15 seats. He made an appeal. And I want you to remember, the then leader of the NDC, George Prison, went and worked with him after the election. Remember that? Good. They didn't call George a traitor. But they expelled me. They kicked me out. They threw me out. They gave me the biggest horn in my life. And then they jailed me. And after they locked me up in the police station, they tell me I am a traitor. Comrades, when they locked me up, I was fighting for the workers of this country. And I stand here today fighting for the workers of this country. And let me tell you what I got and what the workers got. Let's reflect. The new National Party enacted the Labor Code, the Employment and the Labor Relations Act since 1999. Remember that. Comrades, I begged, I fought, I prayed, I asked the National Democratic Congress to remove income tax and severance pay because workers were losing their jobs left, right, and center. Banks were closing. RBTT closed 2 of its branches, one in Grenville and its headquarters in Tongue. First Caribbean, 2 of its branches, one in Carriacou, one in Grenville. Bank of Nova Scotia closed its branch. Hundreds of workers were losing their jobs. You know that I fought and put the National Democratic Congress in office. And I went to them in their first convention after they won the election in 2008. In the GBSS auditorium in March, I went there and presented them with a resolution to remove income tax and severance pay. And the resolution passed. I got a big applause just like how I get here tonight. But do you know what happened? The man who is now applying for the job, he never gave it. Nazim Burke stalled. He refused to implement the income tax and severance pay. It's only when he see water more than flour and the writing was on the wall that the people were going to run him out of town that he changed it. And he did it only for 1 year. So hundreds of workers in telephone company and in the banks had to pay income tax and severance pay. Dr. Mitchell gave the Technical and Allied Workers Union and myself a promise. And within 3 months of taking office in 2013, at the May Day rally in Las Vegas, Dr. Mitchell revealed that the new National Party will remove income tax and severance pay with effect from January the 1st. Who you voting? Make no mistake about that. The man who fought against it now is applying for the job. The good thing about it, you the people will decide whether he getting that job or not. Would you give Nas that job? Comrades, let's keep moving. The new National Party removed personal income tax on pensions, something Mr. Burke refused to do. The new National Party removed income tax on NIS. Comrades, what about the social protocol that is responsible for this country succeeding in the fiscal reforms that it had to do? We spent 2.5 years negotiating with Mr. Burke to get that social protocol through to protect the jobs of the workers. Mr. Burke never reached an agreement with us. Within 1 year and 5 months of the NNP coming into office, for the first time in the history of Grenada, a social protocol was signed, and then we keep moving. Comrades, ask Mr. Burke, during the time he was in office, how many public officers did he make permanent? The answer is simple, 1 big zero. To date, as I stand here, the new National Party, and with the leadership of Lyden Lewis, heading the Teachers Union, over 300 teachers have been made permanent, a problem that is over 40 years old in this country, the new National Party. Comrades, that is why I am here. Take pensions. Not too long from now, the Prime Minister will make an announcement, because a problem which was started since in 1983, the new National Party is about to solve that problem, and public officers will have their pensions restored. Comrades, 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 and to the young people, when I defend the job of your parents, I am defending you. When I protect the job of your parents, I am protecting you. And therefore, when I call on your parents as workers to vote for the new National Party, I am calling on you to do the same. Comrades, after that long struggle with the brewery workers, 66 days, you remember when I had to go and lie down in front of a truck, a moving truck, and I said, take my life, I will defend the workers.
Peter David, candidate for the town of St. George, also addressed supporters with a message of unity. David stressed to the people that these are very serious times and reminded everyone that many of the things we take for granted came as a result of long struggles.
Brothers and sisters, these are very, very serious times. We jump in and we waving, but it's serious times. I have many friends in St. Patrick's, many friends who went with us through this journey from the Black Power movement, the youth movement, the revolutionary period, the NDC, and to this day. Today, brothers and sisters, I see many of those faces in front of me. I want to recognize them and to tell them that we are still on that journey. We have come a long way, brothers and sisters. Many of the things we take for granted today in this country, simple things, brothers and sisters, like the right to vote. We have come a long way because many of the things we have today that we take for granted came as a result of long struggles. It was Fedor in the struggle against slavery, or Gary with the right to vote, or Maurice Bishop with the right to people's participation in politics. Today, brothers and sisters, I believe we are achieving great things. I believe the main features of this period is economic development, unity, and stability. Brothers and sisters, and these two things are linked. The unity that we are seeing today in our country, the stability that we are seeing in our country is necessary for economic development.
Mr. David, in his speech to the people, warned about the National Democratic Congress and its leadership.
Brothers and sisters, I love this country. I believe that Grenada is one of the greatest nations in the Caribbean and the world. I love this country like I love myself. And I know that you love Grenada too. But I want to tell you something. I know that there are many persons in other parties who love this country just as much. I know that there are members of the NDC who love this country just as much. I have no problems with the members of the NDC. I have no problem with the workers of the NDC. I spent many of my years in the NDC and I have come to know some fine people. Brothers and sisters, my problem is with a small clique within the NDC who has hijacked that party for their own purposes. That is the problem I have. Brothers and sisters, when we won the election, I was in NDC in 2008. It is because we had tried to make the party more people-centered. And it is because of our attempts to do that. It is because of our attempts to root the party in the people that myself, Chester Humphrey, Colin LaBarry, Yvonne James, Ali Gill, Kenny Fullerton, and many others were expelled. My brother Joe Gilbert, who represented St. Patrick's West, he was also expelled. That is why we were expelled, brothers and sisters, today. Today, I have no apology in saying that I believe that the new National Party is the best party to represent the people of this country. I believe, brothers and sisters, that the people of Grenada know that. Look at what happened to the NDC. When we came into the party, they were at 0. We moved the party to 7, and we then took it to 11. When they expelled us, where did they go back to? 0. And that is what we have today. A party that the ordinary workers of this country know does not represent their interest. You heard Brother Chester. Brother Chester spent his entire life fighting for the people of this country. Many of us have gone through all of the historic struggles of this country. But today, brothers and sisters, take this seriously. Today, we are at the cusp. We are at the edge of the takeoff of this country, and we need to support the new National Party.
Dr. Clarice Modeste, candidate for St. Mark, in her address, took the time to welcome to the House the new supporters. Dr. Modeste also highlighted the continued progress of the new National Party.
Very importantly, I know a lot of people just joined the party. They're just christened into the house of the new National Party. Let's welcome all the new christened people in the house of the new National Party. We love you, we love Grenada, and together we will build. Brothers and sisters, Grenada is once more back on track. Grenada is once more held in high esteem, not just in the region, but internationally. When you see our short Prime Minister go out there, the man is walking tall, he's holding his head high and talking Grenada because he has brought us out of a time of misery. Brothers and sisters, we suffered 4.5 years of disaster, but for the past 4.5 years now, we have been building back better. Brothers and sisters, business is booming. Unemployment is going down. And many persons can eat a food, as we say locally. Let us not put Grenada in reverse gear. Let us not put Grenada, as somebody said, behind Z. We have to stay on track, brothers and sisters. So in the tourism sector, we have been growing by leaps and bounds.
NNP focuses on people every time. That's according to the leader of the New National Party and Prime Minister Keith Mitchell to Grenadians.
As you know, 3 weeks and 2 days from today, you are going to be asked to vote for yourselves, for your children, for your family, and of course your country. 3 weeks from today, you got to vote for national unity and Project Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. 3 weeks from today, you're going to be asked to vote for continued social and economic development of your beautiful country. 3 weeks from and 2 days from today, you're going to be asked to vote for a team of builders, a team of love, and a team of people who care deeply about you and this country. 3 weeks and 2 days from today, you're going to be asked to vote for a team that focus on people first all the time. Our opponent says, if you vote for them, when they win, they go focus on people. NNP focuses on people all the time.
Prime Minister also spoke about the public pension for public workers.
Sisters and brothers, just listen to this. We have been working extremely hard, the public service leadership and the government, working with the trade union movement to deal with the issue of pension for public workers. Tonight, sisters and brothers, I want to inform you, only this afternoon, both sides have come to an agreement on the issue of dealing with public pension for public workers, sisters and brothers.
This is Campaign Central. I am Nolene Thompson. Join us again next time.